'Tis the season to support local arts in the Pikes Peak region. So today, Peak Radar Live is here at Cottonwood Center for the Arts, which is a glitter with things made by local artisans and creatives. To get you inspired about shopping local with local artists this year, we're doing a private studio tour with a new artist in town, Karen Mosbacher, who's based right here in Cottonwood Center for the Arts. Hello, Karen.
Hi.
Thanks so much for having Peak Radar Live in your new studio.
Thanks for coming.
It is, if you've never been to Cottonwood, it is open to the public, and here you can visit over 100 local artists like Karen in 60 studios. They also have a great shop and a new exhibit that opens during First Friday, December 3rd. You'll find the link to that in the caption of this episode. But today we're visiting with Karen, who just moved to Colorado Springs 6 months ago.
That's right.
Tell us what brought you to this creative community, Karen.
I came from Santa Fe, New Mexico, where the arts are huge.
Sure,
so much of it. And I was looking for a community that would, have a place for me. And I was lucky enough to find a studio here, and I've met so many great people and love the arts community and how it's growing and growing in Colorado Springs.
It's a really collaborative scene here,
It is.
and there's a lot of interdisciplinary collaborations, and I know that's one of your strengths, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about how you cross disciplines in your work.
In my own work, I have chromesthesia, which is a form of synesthesia, and what it means is that I see sound in color and shape and texture, especially in music. And so I decided a few years ago, about 10 years ago, that I was going to try and paint what I see when I listen to music. And I have a background I can't play it, but a background in classical music and real jazz. And so I've started working on my projects and have several bodies of work going at the same time with different genres of music.
Awesome. You guys have got to visit Karen's website. We have the URL right here with the episode. And check out how she is interpreting music through art. Today, you're going to show us some new pieces that you're working on right now, right,
Yes.
Karen? Take us on a little tour and show us what you have in progress.
Okay. This first couple of pieces here is from the All That Jazz body of work. And they are started out with a water-soluble graphite, and it really shows the rhythm and the beat of jazz and also the improv of jazz.
Get close to it.
Yeah. And there's then I add the color later, and there's so many fun colors that come with the different kinds of instruments that jazz music creates.
There is so much energy and movement in this piece. It's like it vibrates off the canvas.
Yes.
And the piece above?
The piece above is called Scheherazade, and it is a classical music symphony, a very famous one about Sinbad and the ship. And it has a lot of movement and also depth. There are a lot of different colors in a symphony. Each instrument, to me, is a different color and has different movement and textures, especially.
Interesting. And here we see, for those of you listening on the podcast, as we moved from jazz into classical, suddenly the lines became kind of more fluid, it seems, for this piece.
Much more fluid. Sometimes the classical music almost looks like billowing smoke, if you can picture that flowing out of the different instruments and moving around in the room.
Fabulous. The colors are so vibrant throughout this whole room. And one of the things I love about being in a studio is we get to see all of your supplies, all of your pencils and paints and easels all around. It's just so wonderful to get a chance to see the spaces where artists work and to feel what the air is like in that space where you make. So thank you so much. Yeah, for having us in here.
Thank you for coming.
So these are cornhole boards?
Yes, they are. Every year I do a little bit of charity work, and this year I decided that I would help out. It's a children's charity, and they ask us to paint some cornhole boards that will be auctioned off, and then all of the proceeds will go to them.
Oh, how wonderful.
Yeah, so I wanted to make them bright and colorful and fun.
I'm going to pause this for a second, because if you want to see Karen's work, you can see it here at Cottonwood and also at G44 Gallery here in downtown. But you also show beyond Colorado Springs. Give us a quick rundown of where people could see your work around the world.
I have a gallery in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, one in Lyon, France, and a small one in Atlanta, Georgia. So it keeps me very busy.
Fabulous. We're so glad that you came to join our arts community
Thank
here.
you. I love it here.
And a great time to see Karen's work is First Friday. First Friday starts December 3rd at 5 o'clock. But the exhibits that open, if you watch this or listen to this later, are open throughout the month. So make sure that you stop by local galleries this December and you'll see Karen as well as a lot of other local artists who are all putting their best on display for the holiday season. Tell us about a couple pieces here before we end.
This is more of the classical music, and actually the pieces here that are blue and orange, and look what I was talking about, the billowing smoke. They were done with the other duo out of Toronto, Canada. And I love performing with them. Sometimes on stage, they'll ask me to come and paint while they're doing their performance.
I love performance painting.
Yes.
A lot of people don't realize that is a thing that people do, but it is fascinating to watch a painting come together.
And I'm very careful about keeping the mess off of the performance stage too.
So it's not really like a Jackson Pollock kind of
Right.
experience.
That's
Yeah,
right.
that's a different kind of party.
Yes.
And did you want to show us anything back here before we're done?
Yes, this is also what I call nude music, and it's classical instruments that play a newer composer's music that has a lot of rhythm in it. And so I've excavated the rhythms out of classical music to put the mark making and things on these canvas. And as you can see, there's a tremendous amount of energy in these and some movements that are vibrating from the different instruments that I listen to in this music.
Incredible. Well, if you are intrigued by what you are hearing about Karen's work, about chromesthesia, about the intersection between painting and music and poetry, definitely follow her website. She's on Instagram at Karen Mosbacher, right?
Yes,
and
thank
the URL is karenmosbacher.com. And follow what she's doing in the new year, because you have a lot coming up in 2022.
I do. Yes.
Yeah, there were like 6 events that you already knew about, and a lot of great collaborations. And so make sure that you are following this exciting new addition to our local creative community. Thank you so much for being on Peak Radar Live with us, Karen.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm very honored.
I hope you're inspired by the quality of our local arts community. You can find our new gallery guide at peakradar.com, and you can meet the artists and see their work during First Friday on December 3rd.